Hey, welcome back once again to Daily Justice. I'm your host, Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. My guest today is Mark Hodgson, the family law attorney here in Spokane, Washington, with a topic that is pretty new to me, but you know so much about it. It's grandparents' rights. Please expand.
Well, there's no such thing. I mean, that's the funny part is there's absolutely no such thing as grandparents' rights in any of the 50 states.
So why is that term out there?
Well, the term's out there because oftentimes today in the recession, we see a lot more extended families. We see a lot more people living with grandparents. We see many people who had to move away, maybe leave the kids with grandparents. And so that creates a very interesting dynamic where the grandparents are raising grandchildren as their own, but with no real rights to those children. Now in Washington, we have something called third-party custody that may apply to certain grandparents. It may apply and transcend and get you by the idea of no grandparents' rights. But you need to talk to a lawyer before the children are either out of your care or before a tragedy happens. So a lot of times, sometimes you'll have kids that have a drug problem, so they'll leave the kids with grandma. Well, that happens quite frequently. Well, they wonder, well, do I have rights to these children? The short answer, no, you don't. Not until you actually go through the process in court to get the rights of third-party custody. And you have no more rights to those children by law than you would you or me, any more than I would have rights to your children or you would have rights to my children. So it's very important to get the process going and getting the process going with a very competent attorney because it is a confusing process and there's a lot of hurdles.
Is this something that's coming up more and more that you're seeing when people walk through the door?
Yeah, we see quite a bit of it. And the reason is because of these extended families, and also sometimes people run into problems and addictions and things like that where the kids just aren't being taken care of. So they leave them with the grandparents who raised them as their own. Well, the problem with that is sometimes you have a kid that comes back and says, okay, now I want my kids back. The kid's been with grandma 4 or 5 years. Well, without a third-party custody, you have no rights to that child. So you really need to have a competent lawyer on board to get those rights. And there are no technical grandparents' rights that are available to you absent a third-party custody action or a dependency.
So working with you and your firm, how quickly can this process be?
Incredibly quick, especially in an emergency. If there's an emergency, we can actually take some very quick action and get it done very quickly. The process itself can take quite a while and to finalize because it's a very big deal in the state of Washington to not have the kids with the parents anymore. In fact, Washington has a constitutional amendment that gives you the right to raise your children as you see fit. Not grandparents, parents. So when we have that constitutional right in the state of Washington, you have to overcome it. And we've done it, and we do it all the time, but you really need to consult a lawyer as soon as possible.
So someone in the Spokane area who wants to have to broach this topic, how do they contact you?
Well, they can give us a call at 509-327-1415. We're open business hours and a little bit beyond, so you can always give us a call. And then we also have a website, HodgsonLawOffices.com. We have a blog with several of these topics. It goes on about once a month, twice a month. We have a new article coming out. And then we also have email.
Thank you for enlightening us on this topic that does not really exist by definition, grandparents' rights, but very helpful. Mark Hodgson, thanks very much.